Be sure and tell them Large Marge sent ya.
In the 90s, we were just teeny tykes. We rented movies and our bikes. We wanted to be DJs, but we were just teeny gals. So we went off to college and we remained as pals. 20 years later, we're still watching flicks and we're bringing you the favorite bit by bit. Sweetie and Sweetie are here to say it's the Large Marge sent us podcast.
In case some of you wonder who the best is, they're up here on this plaque on the wall. The best driver in his reel from each class has his name on it. And they have the option to come back here to be Top Gun instructors. You think your name's gonna be on that plaque?
Yes, sir.
That's pretty arrogant, considering the company you're in.
Yes, sir.
I like that in a pilot. Just remember, when it's over out there, we're all on the same team.
Hey guys, welcome to the Large Marge Sent Us podcast, your favorite podcast where two sweetie sisters talk about their favorite flicks from childhood. I'm Sweetie with a Y.
And I'm Sweetie with an IE.
Or should we say our new call name? What are they called? What are those names called? Call names? Signs?
Call names?
Call signs. I will now be known as a Duchess.
Oh, that's pretty good. All right, first we have to say what we're doing. This is like insane. Okay, so you guys, this week we decided to do Top Gun, otherwise known as
Highway to the Danger.
Highway to the Danger Zone. I gotta say zone like that. It's like the Kenny Loggins way.
Yeah.
What's with like Kenny Loggins and like the hot soundtrack
I don't know.
songs?
Is he the greatest musician of our time? I think
Kinda.
so.
Footloose, Footloose. I know he has like a couple others too, but like,
Did he wait?
Dang.
Did he do Maniac? No.
No, that's Michael
Michael-
Cimbello. Or
Oh yeah,
something.
yeah.
Top Gun, guys. So another one. Oops, that like I did not know that Sweetie had never seen.
Yes, you too.
Oops.
I've told you this several times.
And was really excited about watching it, and then was like, oh no, she may have not. You might have told me, and it was like sort of in the back of my mind. But I was like, you know what? Like, we need to do this one because it's like pretty important in terms of like 80s movies, and especially in terms of like Tom Cruise and, you know, other stuff. So first time Sweetie has seen Top Cruise.
I should clarify. I have heard this movie, as in listened to it. So I had this weird thing when I was little where like I could not remember this. I needed to sleep with the door open. Like I was afraid to close the door.
Yes.
So you guys were all watching Top Gun downstairs, like you, Liz, Dad, and I was trying to sleep, but I couldn't. But then I was like, you know, when you're sleeping and you're in and out, but you're watching a movie and you like drift off, you kind of still are like sort of listening to the movie, but not.
Yeah.
So it was like that, and I remember
What
just like
parts do you remember?
all I remember are like jet sounds, like
Okay.
and then like the sad goose music,
Yeah.
and like so that's why I think I knew that he died.
Yeah.
So that's all. So I feel like I have seen this movie, but not, but kind of, because the whole movie really is just jet noises.
Yeah, I mean, you basically got the gist. So Top Gun 1986, right? So, you know, maybe you heard it in your crib because it was from 1986, the year you were born.
I remember it. It was not in
That
my
would be
crib, you
amazing.
nut bar.
1986, I watched this. I was a little girl when I watched it. I've only maybe seen it like 5 times total. Probably like parts of it on TV whenever they play it or something
I would
like
assume
that.
you've seen it 0 times because the whole time Sweetie was like, "What? What?"
Yeah, really, it was like watching it for the first time because I didn't remember shit, guys. The only part that I remember and what has stuck with me since I was a little girl was when Goose dies. Very traumatic. And I thought he bled green blood. That's all I remembered because there's like jet fuel in the
still
water.
unclear what
and,
that
like,
is.
Jet
Jet
fuel in the
fuel.
water. And it's like all
But why is
green,
it-
but it's like...
Why? But they ejected out. Why is there jet fluid? I don't get it.
Yeah. Why is there? That's weird. Okay. We should do some research on that. So I obviously didn't remember a lot of it either. What I do remember is that I always thought that this was, for me, the hottest Tom Cruise ever was. This was peak Tom Cruise hotness level for me. And like, Tom Cruise is even hot. But when I was a little kid, I thought it was pretty hot. Now I'm like, sick, ew. But like, I really thought he was hot in this. Sweetie has a different opinion.
I burst Sweetie's Tom Cruise bubble right away. And I was like, he has a unibrow. No, thank you. But also, Sweetie, who are you kidding? You showed us your diary entry where you rated your crushes, and Tom Cruise was number like 3 or something.
Yeah, totally. I mean, and that was what, like 1997 or something.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I had a good like crush on him. I had a good ride with Tom Cruise. Good flight with Tom Cruise for like a long time. But now I'm over him. Sorry, Tommy, you're not for me. But I do kind of love this movie. It's really pretty cool. I mean, the fighting stuff is pretty damn exciting. And I will tell you that also this has a stellar supporting cast. I mean, there's some great actors in here. You know, I kept seeing a new person. I was like, that guy's in this? That guy's in this? At one point I thought, what's his name was in it? And he was not.
What?
Remember, I was like, oh my God, is that Tim Robbins?
Oh, that was Tim Robbins.
No, was it?
I'm pretty sure that was Tim Robbins.
Okay. So he might be in it too. Okay. Who are the supporting cast members in this that I'm raving about?
Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
As the Iceman. Or is it just Iceman? Is it the Ice? No, it's just Iceman. Yeah, but they call him Ice, so it's like... we got Anthony Edwards as Goose. Meg Ryan as Goose's wife. Kelly McGinnis or Guinness? McGinnis.
Mick Ennis, I think it is, maybe.
As Charlie, the flight instructor. Tom Skerritt and Michael Ironside as fucking whatever they are, like leaders of the Top Gun school. I don't know.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about Top Gun, you guys. I don't know what the fuck is going on.
You were really confused.
I literally Googled after this movie ended, can someone please explain Top Gun to me? And nobody would tell me. I got one article that was like, you only need to watch the first 4 minutes of Top Gun because it's a flawless sound design. I'm like, I don't give a shit about a sound design. What the fuck happened in this movie? Okay. I think it's a great action movie, blah, blah, blah. Exciting, yada, yada, yada. However, I need facts. I need like exposition or something. They literally explain nothing. Why are there Russians in the sky patrolling all the time? Why did he need to go to Top Gun school when he just like went right back to where he started at the beginning of the movie? That made no sense to me. What are they doing in flight school anyways? How are they like determining things? I have no idea. So if a Top Gun out there could please explain it to me, I would be much obliged.
/ go on a date with me. Thank you. Bye.
Jesus, I don't know.
Okay, so I think that means I should take charge of the synopsis. I'm just thinking.
Fine, but I mean, I think I have pretty good.
You can chime in, but I've seen it 4 more times than you, so I think I know better.
I don't think you know, like, okay. I'm talking about like I mean, I know the basics, but it's just the deeper meaning I'm confused about.
There goes a bogey.
I feel like this is a file. I feel like the government gave us this movie and they redacted like like when you get like security files and they're all like blacked out. Yeah. It's like that. I'm missing like crucial chunks here where I'm like, why are we in the Indian Ocean? Yeah. Why is this happening?
I don't think that is important to understand, because when they do movies like this and they have to like manufacture like battles and stuff that didn't really happen in history. I mean, you have to remember this is also 1986. This is Cold War. So like, yes, that shit was probably happening all the time and like we didn't know about it. Though they do say that they did like report on like the victory he had, but apparently that shit was happening all the time, and like we just did not know, because that's I guess what happens in the military. I mean, they're like taking care of business,
fly planes around the ocean for no reason.
So I mean, that one was like a specific mission because it sounded like something was like a boat was like in trouble or something like that, and they were like escorting it out, and they thought the Russians were like going to come and like bomb it, like jet bomb, like
where
bomb
was
it.
the boat? I missed the boat.
Yeah, well, you have to remember that they're in the Navy. You're in the Navy.
That's the other thing I don't get. Why does the Navy need planes? Why isn't that called the Air Force?
Who is the Air Force?
I know.
Then?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we don't know our military shit like at all, which is probably what made this like real confusing. But I think it's still really enjoyable. It's fun in a lot of ways, and we're gonna get into it one mig at a time. It's time for the sweetie synopsis. Yeah, sweeties. I feel the need for speed. Woo! Quick trivia fact. You know that said the real Navy, if you quote any lines from Top Gun, you're fined $5.
That's it.
Whoa.
Chump change. I'll be like, here's 100.
There's like not that many quotable lines. I mean, there's a couple, but anyway. Pete Mitchell is a crackpot. That's not the right word. Crack shot pilot in the United States Navy. Him and his partner, Goose. First name Nicholas, I believe. I don't know what his last name was.
I think it's Goose. No.
What?
I don't know.
Nicholas
I don't know.
Goose?
Just kidding.
Best last name ever.
No, I think it's because he looks like a goose.
He does look like a goose, man. Him and Goose, you know, they're a good team, but you know they don't play by the rules. So they're in the Navy, like we said, and apparently the Navy has fighter planes because you need. I'm pretty sure you're like in the middle of the ocean. You're in these big aircraft carriers, and like you need planes to like possibly protect ships? ? I think that's what they do in terms of the Navy, right?
But like, get the Air Force. Like, what?
Maybe the Air Force is
I don't get it.
for local.
I don't get it.
Maybe Air Force is domestic.
What?
Yeah.
Isn't government just like everything?
No, it's kind of like the CIA is like overseas, but like FBI is like internal law stuff. You know what I mean?
Is this
Anybody?
sweetie facts?
I'm just making shit up. Okay. So anyway, so they're fighter pilots in the Navy, and there's like this a beginning scene where oh yeah, so this is important. So they are going after flying around the Indian Ocean, and it's like these a couple different pilots. Yeah, two pilots, right? And they one guy, Cougar, I forget what his partner's name is.
Mellencamp.
Cougar Mellencamp. Cougar and his partner, and then Goose and Maverick are both like flying around, and these MiGs come out. MiGs are Russian fighter pilots, and they get into some trouble, and like the MiGs end up going away, but then the guy Cougar gets like freaked out because the MiG almost did shoot him, and he gets like a little bit freaked out, and he like can't fly his plane. He basically has like a panic attack in the plane. And Maverick has to like he's supposed to land because they're running out of fuel, but he's like not going to leave a man down. So which like you're not supposed to do technically because like those planes are worth a lot of. I like how they're like the plane was $50 million. Like, they don't even care about.
Yeah,
people's
they're always
lives.
like fucking braking. Like
Yeah.
fuck that, and they don't have fuel long enough to last like 20 minutes.
Well, they fly like pretty far.
Well,
Like they were like 150 miles out from like where the boat was. How's that possible? But anyway, so he goes back and saves this Cougar guy. Apparently, Cougar was like the ¡1 pilot of the Navy where they were flying. And Cougar like flips out and quits after that whole experience. So I don't know if the guys knew it or not, but I guess so. Like the 1% of the top flyers in the Navy get to go to this special school, the special flight school, and they call it Top Gun. It has like a more like official name, right? So Cougar was supposed to go with his like sidekick, but because he fucking flipped out and he's like, I quit. They're like, Maverick and Goose, guess what? You were number 2. You get to go. So, like, what up? They're out of the Indian Ocean, and they have to go to this special Top Gun school, which is in California.
I guess. But, okay. But, like, if he's already, like, flying missions, I just don't get why he has to, like, go to school.
They were
to
learning
learn
the special
more
stuff. I think it was, like, this special fighting technique.
But his special skill is, like, what he does at the beginning of the movie. You know, like that thing, like, put on the brakes. Isn't that what he did in the beginning?
I think it's just, like, more specialized fighting.
I think it was bullshit. I don't think he had to go to school at all.
And I think it's the guys that they send to, like, actually go and, like, basically, like, on the offensive for planes. So a lot of times you're, like, defending, right? You're, like, defending the ships and everything like that. But
we now bring you sweetie facts, too.
Yeah. Even no. Anyway,
there's offense and there's defense.
No, maybe they were more defense. Because they like are specialized in like shooting the missiles.
I don't know. But Tim Robbins did not go to Top Gun school, yet he got to fly in that mission at the end anyways with all the same people. So I'm still confused about it.
Yeah, that's what was weird.
So
anyway, so now they're in California.
Yes. So now they're at the school and they're like, la-di-da, la-di-da. Whoever wins gets a trophy. And everyone's like so excited about this fucking trophy. And I'm like, who cares about a trophy? Why do we care about this trophy so much? Is it like... Do you get to like is it gold? Do you get to like hand it in for like $1 million? Like, what's the
a trophy.
big deal?
I don't know. This is the 80s. Big deal. Trophies.
So it's Maverick versus Iceman, who's like the Top Gun or whatever.
Who's Val Kilmer?
Val Kilmer. And Val Kilmer's like, I don't like you because you're too dangerous. Which like
is true.
Is very true because Maverick takes a lot of risks that he doesn't need to take.
Psst, he's a maverick.
What does that mean?
Maverick means like you go your own way.
You can go your own way. Go your own way.
Like
Have you seen that
Breaker.
movie Maverick with Mel Gibson and
It's
Jodie
so
Foster?
good. I love it.
It's a pretty good movie.
Oh my god, we should do that. Such a good poker movie.
Mostly I only just like Jodie Foster's dress
She's
in
so
that.
cute in that.
The like blue. I think that's what I modeled
Yeah.
my Halloween
Oh, she's
costume
adorable.
after. Anyway, so they're in the school and now they're like doing all kinds of things and there's like a leaderboard or some shit and they like fly around and then Tom Skerritt like decides who wins. I don't get it.
Yeah, I think it's like points. They get points every time they go and they do those dog fights and you like shoot somebody down, like fake shoot somebody down.
So like Goose and Maverick and Iceman and who's his partner?
Okay, his
Hollywood or
partner's
Slider?
name- No. Slider.
Slider are like neck and neck and it's like, it's a close battle. How long? First of all,
I don't know.
how long is this?
Yeah, I don't know.
We don't
Debatable.
know.
Who knows?
We don't know. Meanwhile, Maverick spots a lady at the bar one night. He's attracted. Puts the moves on her. And by moves, I mean straight up stalker bullshit.
And makes a sleazy bet.
I'm a little terrified of it. Oh, he makes a bet with Goose that he can sleep with her?
Yeah. For
Immediately?
$20 on site. You have to do it at the bar. Apparently
Interesting.
this is like a thing they do.
Yeah. So he's like not getting the signals that she wants to engage, but yet follows her into the ladies' room. First of all, what if she was taking a shit or something and he like walked in and she was like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
I don't know. So many
Pete
problems.
Mitchell is a fucking stalker. He's gross.
He really is. So whatever. So now they have this relationship. Turns out she's actually the instructor at this Top Gun school.
Civilian instructor.
A civilian instructor, which I'm still unclear about. And here's what I think, you guys. And Sweetie doesn't agree with me, but I think she was a spy this whole time for Russia. She's obsessed with the MiGs, and she's like, she's like, your knowledge of the MiGs will really help my research. And I'm like, what research is that, Charlie? And Charlie, if you remember, was the code name for the bad guys in Vietnam, right? Like, where's Charlie? Where's Charlie? Maybe. Okay. This is a fan. This is my theory, and I think it's right. And I'm just gonna go with it. But I got a bad vibe about her. You guys, I got a bad vibe.
Okay, she's really a PhD in like astrophysicist or something like that. I don't know. So she like knows all about like 4G or like what is that? Like the gravity thing?
Verizon?
No. Like 2G is like gravity times 2. I think they kept saying 4G, didn't they? So she like knows all this like physics bullshit. So she like comes in there to, like basically help them with like the physics of flying because they're trying to do all these kind of cool moves because they're like fighter pilots, right? And then like Sweetie said, she's also like obsessed that Maverick like saw a MiG and like had that whole thing where he like in the beginning scene he like flips his plane over to be like totally goofing off to like go like whatever the bubble things are. The window, whatever that is. What is that called?
Cockpit?
The cockpit, but it's like the window over it.
Yeah.
Like basically like flips over so his is lined up with the Russian guys and then gives him the finger. And then they take like a Polaroid, but they're going like fast while they're doing it. I don't know how you do that.
Yeah,
Anyway.
it doesn't seem possible.
So that like little move, like she like doesn't believe that he did that, and she's like obsessed with it and wants to know all about like how he did that and stuff. So she's kind of like doing it for kind of like academic reasons, but also like kind of has the hots for him. And you're like, why? Because he's short and has a unibrow.
And he's such a dick.
He's a
like
dick.
The biggest little stick I've ever seen in my life. Like,
Yeah.
really hated him. Honestly, I felt a closer kinship to Val Kilmer. I was
Me
like,
too.
He is too dangerous. He takes dumb risks. Everything is his fault, and he's a stalker.
Yeah.
So
Right. It's
There
like,
you have it, folks.
It's fucking annoying. But of course, like, so like so it's like flight school, and they like keep doing all these things. That's like the whole time. They're just like, flight school, boom, boom, you're down. I got a point. That's basically what it is. One day, Professor, what's her real name? I forget. Charlie is like her code name. So she like basically like reprimands Maverick in front of like the whole class. And they're still like heavy duty flirting, but she's like, I'm an instructor here. Like I can't really hook up with you. Like wink, wink. I want to touch your penis.
This is high school.
Yeah. And so she like reprimands him one day in class, and he's like pissed. So he like basically like stomps off like a whiny little bitchy baby and is like, oh my god, why did you
I can't hear you.
So she like goes to confront him, and like she's an adult about it, and she's like, listen, like I like think in my professional opinion like I was right about like your performance, and that he's like revving his motorcycle. So he's like, what? I can't hear you. What? And then like motorcycles away. Like fuck you, dude. Like he's such a little prick. So anyway, she like follows him in her sweet little sports car, and then she's like, you didn't like let me finish my sentence. Like runs a red light, almost kills herself.
Yeah. And a lot of other people.
And then they do have this like pretty hot like because she's like, you like, I think you are a really good fighter pilot. You have a lot of talent there, and I didn't want to like say that in front of everyone else because I didn't want everyone to know I'm falling for you. And then they make out really nastily, and then they have like a pretty hot sex scene to that song. Take my breath away. I just love that part. Okay.
Yeah, so they're a thing now, and like all of a sudden they're like a couple, and I guess they don't care like who sees them because I guess all bets are off the table now. Anyway, so it's like final exercise or whatever the fuck that is when they're flying around doing shit, and they're tied again with Iceman, and they're like doing this thing, and then they're like caught. There's like 3 what are they called? Planes?
Yeah.
No. Fighter jets, and then like somebody spins off, and then Maverick's plane does like this crazy spin in the air. They can't control it. They can't recover. They have to eject. He can't pull the ejector thing, so Goose has to do it. So he like pulls it, and then the lid pops open.
The lid. Where is that terminology?
The thing
the bubble.
The thing that Marion, when she was stuck in the plane in Indiana Jones, got stuck. It got jammed. That thing. It like flings off, but then like crashes on Goose's head. And then he's dead, and he just like parachutes dead into the ocean. It's really fucking sad. And then it's like the sad Goose is dead music. That's like, how's it go again? It's like, dee. I keep hearing "Take My Breath Away" now.
I know. Sorry, I messed it up.
I don't know, but it's sad, and Maverick's distraught, obviously. And then Tom Skerritt's like, dude, you just gotta get over it. Like, go out with someone else. And then
everybody dies.
Totally heartless.
He's like, you're gonna have a lot of people die, so like, get used to it.
Get used to it, buddy.
Yeah, but it's like,
see
you
out
his
there.
best buddy, and it was literally like 5 minutes like after Goose died. He's like, you need to get over it. Like, whoa, and like you do need to get over it. I'm sorry, but like that is the job. You know, it's like people are gonna die out there. It was a very dangerous job.
But it was fucking school. Like, that's what makes me annoyed. Like, he didn't even go out in a battle.
Total accident.
Dumb. So Maverick's all like upset now, and he's like, I don't think I can do this. I quit. And then
whiny little baby
and then, like, stomps off. And then Tom Skerritt's like, I knew your dad. Oh, by the way, his dad was like a famous fighter pilot
Is that like
too.
a plot of every Tom Cruise movie? I feel like his dad was somebody, and then he's like, I gotta live up to my dad.
What else?
I think that's the plot of Few Good Men, maybe. Like his dad was a lawyer, and like, or no, his dad was in the Navy, whatever he was in, and like he couldn't make it, so he became like a Navy lawyer.
A JAG?
Is he a JAG?
What's a JAG?
Judge Advocate General is what it stands for, but it's like, yes, the like law for the Navy. Yeah, you know, I watched that show a couple times. JAG.
Yeah. So Tom Skerritt's like, oh, yeah. Classified information about your dad's death, but I'll tell you. I could get in trouble, but I'm going to tell you
I
anyways.
was listening to that part. What happened?
They were like flying in the wrong lines or something, and he could have saved himself, but he was reckless and like went back to like finish the job or something, and then like died. So I think that's what happened. Anyway, so Maverick's like, well, I don't know about this. And Tom Skerritt's like, well, you have enough credits to graduate, so it's up to you. And then Maverick fucking like arrives late to graduation, so I'm uncertain if he did graduate. I don't know. Again, somebody tell me. Google did not tell me.
Googled it. No, of course he like graduated, but he was like, fuck this. I think he like didn't want to go to the ceremony without Goose. I think he felt like really weird about it or something. I don't know.
Well,
didn't win the trophy, that's for sure.
He didn't. Val Kilmer won the trophy. Iceman, hands down. So then they're like, here are your assignments, and they just send him back to the fucking ship he was on at the beginning.
I know.
So like we said, what was the point? So they get like this mission, and Maverick is like the wingman, which means that he's on the outside of the main ship,
protecting the main guy.
Yeah. But so they're out there, and here come the MiGs. We got 1 MiG. We got 2 MiGs. We got 3 MiGs. We got 4 MiGs. We got 5 MiGs.
Holy shit, 5 MiGs.
They just kept being like,
So-
there's another MiG. There's another
I think
MiG.
there were like three fighter pilots out there, right? So like the first one gets hit, and they're okay, but they like jettison into the water, like parachute into the water. So then it's down to Iceman and Slider, and then Maverick and his new partner Merlin, right? So
Who was his like old buddy on the ship? He was at the beginning thing anyway.
Wait, Merlin was
Tim Robbins.
No, but he was Cougar's partner. If you remember. So they basically like both
John
lost
Cougar
somebody.
Mellencamp, who left.
Yeah. So anyway, so then so Maverick comes in and he's kind of like freaking out at first because he's like, I can't do this. Like his confidence is like shot. But then he had like very sweetly kept Goose's dog tags and has them with them up there, and he like grabs him. He's like, Goose, tell me what to do. Snaps out of it, and he's like, fuck these Russians. And then he just goes after him. So like Iceman gets hit and one of their engines is down, but they're like still able to fly, and like Maverick goes basically and like picks off a bunch of the MiGs. So he shoots like 3 of them. Or 2 of them, and then Iceman shoots 1, and then the rest of them like run away after that. So like I don't know why the Russians, like this is the part that like Sweetie said, like isn't that really well explained? Like why would the Russians just be like shooting like U.S. pilots out of the sky? Was that something that happened? I don't know. Like I said, I was trying to rationalize it, but I don't know. It just seems like kind of sketchy. Wouldn't that be like kind of starting war with somebody else?
No idea. Are they guarding something out there? I don't know.
I don't know. So Maverick saves the day. Huge hero, comes back. Everyone's like, yeah, woo! Like, awesome!
Hooray!
Like, you did so well. And now they're all like best buds because he saved Iceman's life. And of course, like he's very thankful for that. And now they're like kind of best buds. So that was really nice.
I think I'd call them frenemies. I think frenemies.
Yeah, I shed a tear. It was real sweet.
You shed 1 tear, a single tear.
Yeah.
Or was it sweat? Because it was very hot
it was just
in
like
that
Tom Cruise in the plane. I was like,
in that plane. I couldn't tell if he was crying or
Goose,
sweating.
tell me what to do. So yeah. So now, and this is the part else I didn't get. They were like, "Oh, hey, like you did this one great like battle. Now you get to pick wherever station you want to be on. Like, is that what happens?
Dealer's choice? Like, what is this madness?
So, like, he like literally just got out of this Top Gun school. He's done 1 mission. He's like, I think I'll go be a professor at flight school. Like, what?
Wait, at the same flight school? Top Gun?
Yes. I mean, does that qualify you? Like, you literally just graduated Top Gun, and now you're going to be an instructor there? Maybe, like, your lifespan of, like, being able to fly isn't that long?
What is not it's not a gymnast. Like, it's, like, win a gold medal and then you're out. Like, I don't know. Something is up. Again, I think that the government has tampered with this movie, and we know nothing. We know nothing at all about this flick, and we all just think it's great because we love it. But I think there's some underlying facts here that we're missing. But yeah, blah, blah, blah. But then, and then he's like at the end, and he's like at the bar, and then Charlie comes back in. Is she back? Did she leave her job in Washington? What happened?
Yeah, because she heard that, like, she's like, I heard the best and the brightest were coming back here to teach. So I guess she heard through the Navy grapevine that, like, he was coming to teach and was like, damn, I want to get my boyfriend back. So, like, goes there? What? Girl, no. But
So many problems.
pretty romantic. So she, like, puts in the quarter of the jukebox, and they have that song, You Lost That Love and Feeling, is what he, like, sang to her in the very beginning. And so they have, like, a nice kiss, and they're like, oh, I don't know if it's going to work out. And then, but who knows?
That's
the
it.
end. Yeah. Did they make it, sweetie?
I don't know. If they're both like instructors at the flight school, maybe. If she's a Russian spy, then no, definitely not. I would like to see the next part of this movie where he uncovers the fact that she's a Russian spy, and then it turns into like Mission Impossible 7. Mission Impossible 7.
Top Gun 2.
So they're actually making a Top Gun 2, and it's coming out maybe in a couple years. It's going to follow Goose's son, who is Maverick's protege, and he will be played by Miles Teller.
I saw that, and I was like, what? Yuck.
What do you have against Miles Teller?
I mean, he just doesn't look like a fighter pilot, but his like face is too big.
Small faces. Qualifications for fighter pilot. Small face. Like, what?
No, it doesn't look right to me. Why isn't he Maverick's son?
Because he didn't have kids, because he was like...
And Goose, you saw Goose's son in this. Interesting. Oh my God, is Meg Ryan going to be in it?
It hasn't been confirmed, but Val Kilmer is, yep.
He's probably an instructor at Top Gun. Dang.
Guys, I know.
Yeah, so this movie was like crazy for the time. Most highest grossing movie in 1986. Hugely popular. You know, Tom Cruise was already pretty much getting to be a huge star, and this only made him, I think, even a greater star. Won Berlin's "Take My Breath Away," won Best Song Oscar time, so that's pretty cool.
It's great because they play it every fucking second in this movie.
Yes, they do. Like, really abuse the song. Like, I mean, they
And
use
Danger
it
Zone.
as the love theme, which was like kind of overdoing it after a while. Every time like they had a moment, they're like dun 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 dun. So it's huge, and I feel like even if you like haven't seen that movie this much, like you pretty much know what it is and like kind of get it.
It's just jets, man.
Yeah, it's just jets. A lot of jets.
Benny and the Jets.
Okay, so as you kind of talked about in the intro before we even discussed what film we were going to do.
I got excited.
What's super important, I think one of my favorite parts of this movie is figuring out or hearing all the names. So the call names or call signs, whatever you call that thing. So you're pilot, right? You're not known by like your last name. You pick like a special name. I don't know if you pick or like they assign it to you or like what.
This is another great
mystery. It feels
mystery.
like it's like kind of attached to your personality, so I'm assuming like you pick it.
But like, do you pick it? Or
That's
someone
a lot
is
of
like,
pressure.
if someone's like, you're Goose because you look like a goose.
Yeah.
Like, I have a hard time thinking that
Yeah.
he picks Goose.
Right. So
I
don't
think
know,
they just
so.
like draw out of a hat and they're like, oh, I got Maverick. Like, cool.
Oh, totally. But it does fit their characters like in this one like a lot, right? So it's really fun to like hear all the different ones because there's a lot, and we wrote them all down.
We did.
So let's discuss the call names.
Woo!
All right, what do you got?
Goose, Maverick, Merlin. He's a wizard. Cougar, Viper, Iceman, Sundown, racist, Wolfman, Slider, Charlie, Jester, Hollywood.
That's it.
That's it.
That's all. All right, which one's your favorite?
I really liked.
You know what? This also reminds me of American Gladiator names.
I know.
right?
Well, that's what when I was trying to think of mine, I was like, we also had a hard time coming up with what that would be. I don't know. I guess I like Viper. Seems the most badass.
Yeah, it's like so when I was like reading them and I had this list, I was like, okay, they must try to go for like badass, tough. A lot of them are just like obviously like one word names, sort of like one syllable that you can say quickly, like over the radio, right? But then you have ones like Jester.
Okay.
Like who would want to be Jester?
Okay, which is Michael Ironside, who is the least like a jester I've ever seen in my
that's
life.
Why? Maybe
never
it's,
seen
like,
that guy crack a
ironic.
smile.
Maybe it's like a Little John kind of a name. Like he's not a jester, you know, like opposite.
Weird.
Yeah.
I
So I
don't
think
buy
that
it.
one's weird. Hollywood is dumb. That
And they-
guy is a douchebag. I'm sorry. Like
And
that
they
is the
call him.
dumbest.
They shorten it by doing like wood.
Oh god. That's the fucking worst. Merlin, that's pretty dumb too. Magic, I
He's a
guess.
wizard.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Wolfman just reminds me of that thing you do.
Wolfman, too scary.
That's all I could think of. Like I only could see that guy's face. Oh my god, hilarious. And then, like you said, the Sundown one. So, do you want to explain that one? The one black guy in it picks
So
Sundown.
yeah, so well, or someone picked it for him. So yeah, the black guy's nickname is Sundown, and I look at Sweetie and I'm like, oh my god, I'm like, I think that's racist, and she's like, no, what are you talking about? And I googled it, and I was right, and it is a name given to towns that segregated people based on like certain rules and restrictions, aka these are in quotes. This is not my terminology, but for example, a sign that says colored people must leave town by sundown. So that's his name. But in my head, I was thinking more of like sundown, like the sun is out, it's nighttime.
Yeah. Maybe
So
it's a
that's
double
what I
entendre.
thought, because you know what it reminds me of? That terrible moment in Sneakers when the cops like out of the van, you too, midnight, like fucked up. And it just, I don't know, it made me sad. And I was like, did you really pick that name? Like, is it like the N word? And he's like flipping it around and being like, now I'm taking it, it's my property. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have mixed feelings. Where we go? What was happening?
Okay.
I was
So
just explaining.
just like,
Okay.
yeah, we're just explaining.
done.
like that.
Explanation.
Okay, so now let's go into what our call names would be. Do you have a couple, or you just narrowed it down to one? Okay, me too.
Okay, so I started with Foxtrot.
Okay.
I'm Foxy.
Yeah.
But I was also like learning the NATO phonetic alphabet today,
Oh, nice.
and so those were stuck in my head. But I was like, I don't know. Okay, and then I was like, all right, how about Cleopatra?
Ooh.
Coming at you.
Yeah, I like that.
That's fun. And then I've settled on Duchess.
Yeah.
I just think it's cool.
Cool.
Like
I
in
those.
Clueless when he's like, "What's happening, Duchess?"
Yeah.
or like whatever.
Yeah, I like Duchess the best for you.
Thank you.
Okay, here's my options. Ready?
Yes.
Fireball.
Fireball.
I love to drink Fireball, and I'm kind of a Fireball. Ooh, also Spitfire. Good one. Kind of like that. Adding that one. Spitfire. Okay. Sunbeam. Too girly.
Care Bear
Yeah.
name.
That's why it was really hard for me, because all mine, like, I'm like a happy, perky person, so it's hard to have some like tough and through the skies. Starfighter.
The last Starfighter.
That's kind of where I was going with that. Along with your Duchess, Queen in the skies. For my dance background, Pirouette. And for my birthstone, Emerald.
Ooh.
Which one do you like?
Little stripper. Fireball
Or Spitfire.
or Spitfire. I think Spitfire
I like Spitfire. Okay.
makes you sound scrappy.
Roger that, Duchess. Duchess, we got a Mig on our tail.
No, Spitfire.
We got 5 bogeys, Duchess. 5 bogeys.
Spit. Watch out.
What's the thing they always said? I'm too close. I'm going to switch to guns.
Yeah, they always switch to guns. It's like, wow, a lot of options. What was the middle thing? There was like missile, and then there was like blank, and then guns. So who knows? So Charlie's name is Charlotte Blackwood. I wrote it. I wrote it down, and that's why she's Charlie. So that one's dumb. Okay, so here's a funny thing about like a bad guy tropes. So even though Val Kilmer's supposed to be like the villain, not really. He's not really
He's
the
like the
villain.
jerk
He's just
villain.
like the jerk.
Yeah.
But I liked him better. But they always do this thing where they're like, okay, you're the bad guy. Here's your main prop. It's a stick of gum. Chew it really aggressively. Did you ever notice that? It's always
Or
like
was it
bad guy
also
nom, nom, like,
wearing his sunglasses
inside at the bar? Yeah, but those
and in the like the classroom, like
Here's
he'd
a-
wear them inside.
Here's a question for you: why are aviators like? Why are those like standard issue? Like, are those special for some
Yeah,
reason?
I feel like they were made specifically for that occupation, and then it like came into fashion. Like we only have them because like they were created
Well,
there,
yeah.
kind of like a bomber jacket, same thing. Like
Yeah.
they were like issued by the military. They do make like everybody look hot though. Like you can be busted
Which is-
as fuck, and you put those on, and you're like, hot.
But whenever I put them on, I don't feel hot.
Oh,
I
you
feel
look super
stupid.
hot.
I feel stupid.
I think try mine on.
I think it depends on the like
The
the
size.
level, the size, and the level of like the lenses,
Yeah.
the opacity thing.
Well, there's a lot of those ones like that you can like reflect.
yeah. I don't like the
hate
ones where you
those.
can see
yourself.
your eyes. No, I
Oh.
like the ones. These ones in the movie were like black.
Yes.
like you can't
No.
see their eyes.
Yeah.
I think that's key.
Definitely.
I do not like the ones that are basically clear
Yeah.
and you can see your eyes. I think those don't look good.
No, but I was talking about like if you ever talk to someone with sometimes that are like totally like almost mirrors, and like when you talk to them, you can just see yourself. You ever seen those? And I think it also depends on the size. I have a couple different sizes, and some are like way too big for my face, and I'm like, ugh, shouldn't have bought these because they're just way too big. And sometimes the bar is weird. I mean, the standard issue like Ray-Ban ones are super classic, and they like look good on everybody. I feel like they're always like a good size
All right.
in there.
I'll try some on tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh no, they're
Show
super hot.
you if I look hot or not. I
Speaking
don't know.
of hot, two ways of speaking of hot. Ready?
Yep.
So the Navy fighter pilot / Air Force for me is like the hottest armed services we've got. Here's a couple reasons why. Ready? Bomber jackets. Hot as fuck. Number 2, they're dress white clothes. Hot as fuck.
Can't get it dirty.
Yeah, they don't need
They're
to.
clean. Scotch Guard.
Number 3, perfect eyesight. To fly a plane, you have to have like 20/20 perfect vision. That's pretty cool. You also have to have intense focus, and decision-making skills have to be like on
You
point.
can't wear contacts.
No. Here's a bad thing about probably fighter pilots.
Okay.
Adrenaline junkies.
Ooh.
They're probably like a nightmare. They're always like like searching for the next, like, what's gonna make me like get that high?
Like
Because-
Maverick's like, gotta ride this motorcycle.
Yes.
Like,
Definitely.
please, get over it.
And it's interesting that I find them the hottest, even though they do like the least amount of physical activity. So it's like, if you think about the Marines or like Army or anything like that, like you have to do like some like physical shit, right? Because you're marching all around and you're like, you know, but like the pilots just like sit there, but they're still in pretty good shape because that volleyball game, hello.
Okay,
Like,
so they play this
six
volleyball game, and for some unknown reason, some of them are wearing jeans and playing volleyball. Like, I don't know if you've ever tried to play volleyball. I have. It hurts. And you cannot play in jeans.
Yeah.
Those were tight jeans.
I know that whole game,
That
that
didn't
whole
make any
volleyball
sense.
game is like really
Okay.
strange, and you're like, why did they include this scene?
All right,
You
but
want to see
here's-
them like horsing around?
Yeah. Here's the other thing I don't understand. So in this movie, there's each jet has like 2 people in it, right? So you got like the main pilot, I guess, who is Maverick, and then Goose is like sits behind him and like does some weird shit. But like, what is he doing? What is his purpose? Did he just get in Top Gun school because he's Maverick's like little
think
buddy?
so.
Is he even doing
Yeah.
anything?
Yeah. What does he do?
What does he do?
Is he like the spotter guy? Because he was always like looking around, being like, "They're on our tail. There's 2 behind
I
us."
guess, but still, like, what? He
They
gets
need
to be in Top Gun
They
school?
need some like side mirror, like rear view mirrors on those things,
They need
because
some
like
Star Wars fucking
they need
technology
cameras.
or something. This just seems very old school. I'm uncomfortable with the Navy using those planes and those, you know.
yeah, they seem like
looking
pieces
around.
of shit, and they make this line a couple times. Like they're $35-40 million planes in 1986. That is a lot of money, and there are a lot of those planes. I mean, if you think about that, like obviously, like huge people complain about this all the time. How much money, like our defense spending is like literally what we spent the most money on. It's because we're like buying shit like that, and like yes, like we take that for granted. Like we're really relatively very safe here because we have all of that money and all that goes to this like big defense budget. Like no one's gonna try to overtake us if we have like all these fighter pilots.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, knock on wood. But it's like kind of insane. Like $40 million on one airplane, and then the things like just drop out of the sky.
Yeah, bullshit.
They lost 2 of them in this movie alone.
No, don't get me started. If you want to get me started, let's talk about the space program.
$80 million down the tubes. The space program. Okay. So let's talk about the gross makeouts.
Or the 80s sex scenes.
Or 80 sex scenes in
So,
general.
80s sex scenes are my favorite because they invoke the silhouette sex scene motif, which is not sexy at all, really, but it's hilarious because it's like, like, how did this get started? Are they like, hold on, let me turn off the lights, and we have to stand in this particular way so that our silhouettes go against the screen, and then we're gonna make out. So the make out in this movie is very upsetting. And I can't recall now, thinking back to Tom Cruise's other makeout scenes. Does he also? Is this just the way he kisses?
I feel like he's kind of a crazy kisser. I'm now like
Okay.
remembering.
So the thing about the silhouette sex scene is that you can. It's like when when 2 people are kissing, you see like everything. Maybe that's part of it. That like you see the outline of the tongue so abruptly,
And you're
like,
also not distracted by anything else because
right.
Just, like,
There's no like boobs in your
Yeah,
face.
there's
So
nothing.
all this is like tongue, giant tongue reaching into the mouth. I said he's basically just licking her teeth the whole time, which it looked like to me.
Yep.
Which
She's
I
like,
find
he's licking her teeth. It was pretty funny.
I find it very upsetting. And he just kept doing it. Like the tongue kept like dipping in and out, and like it was just like, ugh, I don't like it. And then they kissed not in silhouette, and it still was happening.
Way worse. And that was just like, Okay, for me, it just looked like a bad kisser. I mean,
Sloppy.
it just looked like, I'd have to, like, call up Kelly McGinnis, like, hey, Kelly, can you just, like, tell us, like, if Tom Cruise was a bad kisser or not? Because it looked bad. It's like that, like, mouth-eating kind of kissing that you're like, is that, like, maybe staged? I don't know. I mean, it just looked bad. And, like, I know I used to have a crush on Tom Cruise, and I wanted him to kiss me like that. But now, like, looking at those, I was like, please don't kiss anybody like that. It was I was, like, holding up my hands and it was embarrassing to me. It was embarrassing. It didn't make me feel hot. It made me feel not good.
It made me feel sick.
Yeah.
I felt a little queasy in
it
the
was
tummy.
gross. So they're, like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like they're, like, kind of a cute couple in this. Only that he's, like, she clearly, like, enjoys someone who, like, you know, is kind
Breaks
of a
the
dick
rules.
to her. Yeah.
Oh.
But also, like, kind of a dick and is, like... I mean, he's a bad boy, I guess, like, in a sense. He has a motorcycle. That is pretty hot. I mean, that is, like, kind of an... You know, I wouldn't mind riding on the back of somebody's motorcycle,
Right.
for sure. But, and I will say, like, height does not mean anything. But I find it interesting when you do have someone who... You know, Tom Cruise, pretty short guy. Kelly McGinnis, taller than him, and you know, the movie studio had a real problem with it, so they gave him special boots to wear. She had to be barefoot in every scene that she shot with him. The last scene where they are basically like the exact same height, they dug a ditch and she had to stand in it. I mean, what lengths are we gonna go here, people? Like, you don't always need to be taller than your partner, men.
Story.
Like-
Okay, first of all, story of Tom
I
Cruise's
know.
life is that he gets to wear special boots. First of all,
Yes.
that's all he does. I have a problem with the fact. So there's only one woman in this movie.
What did they do when, like, Nicole Kidman's really tall.
I don't know. Some Lord of the Rings gizmo tricks or something. So she's the only woman in this movie, and they make her an instructor, but you don't ever get to see her flying.
Because
You
she's
don't
not
know
a
if she's-
pilot.
But then why is she teaching them
Because remember,
things
she's
about
teaching
it?
Physicists.
Well, it's bullshit. This whole time, I thought that Meg Ryan and Kelly McGinnis were like also like fighters and like whatever in the movie, and that they were badass girls. But no, one is a wife and one is a teacher.
So apparently, she's based on a real.
Yeah.
They call them civilian instructors. So it's like they're like the guys in the school aren't supposed to salute them. Like, you don't call them sir or ma'am or any of those like kind of things you do when you have officers in the military, right? But so she's a civilian instructor, so has a PhD, so she's obviously like very smart. But she's based on this real woman, and like in the beginning of this movie, I was like, oh, like, you know, how like feminist and like thinking forward, like you would have, you know, a woman in that position. But really, they just use that as a vehicle to get like Tom Cruise to meet somebody who is in that line of work, because it's all fucking men. So it's like they had to introduce a woman's. What was she going to be? A bartender? Like,
Cocktail?
yeah. Oh, that's already a movie that he was
Cocktails
in.
and Dreams?
Yeah. So, yeah. So I'm kind of like bummed on that too. I really wish they could have made that like she was like a pilot. Would have been really cool.
So cool.
Why not? I don't know. I mean, I know there's still like not a ton of female pilots, but they're fucking out there. Like that one. Remember that plane? Like, that horrible thing where the woman like got sucked out of the window and like the plane. Remember, and like debris hit her.
Commercial airliner?
Yeah. So the pilot of that like
Was a woman.
like landed the plane and saved
Oh, yeah,
everybody
that was a
else,
woman.
and she was like a former Navy pilot or Air Force pilot or something like that. So they obviously like do exist. There's just not as many of them.
Do exist.
So, but yeah, I agree with that. Like maybe when they remake it, they'll have like more gender.
I hope so. But also, wasn't the
equality.
Navy when remember when all those like sex scandals were happening, where that you found out like a bunch of women in the army and stuff were getting like raped and stuff? Wasn't the Navy like the biggest offender of that?
Awful.
I don't know. They have some serious macho toxic masculinity going on there, which is upsetting. I mean, you need to look no further than watching Val Kilmer chew that gum, because that is terrifying to me.
Yeah, or that like ladies' room crack. Now, like I can't even remember what it was, but it was like so dumb. He's like, guys, they put the second place trophy in the ladies' room or something like that. Like, fuck you, buddy. Also, there's probably not even a ladies' room in that fucking place because there's no women
there's
there.
no ladies' room. Fuck that.
Assholes.
So I think it's funny that obviously this was like Cold War time, so that's why like the Russians are still the enemy. But I think it's so funny that like they make the Russians in this movie basically like Imperial stormtroopers and like TIE fighters, and they're wearing these like you don't see their faces. They're wearing these like black helmets with a big red malicious star on it. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Apparently, like Matthew Modine was like supposed to be the Maverick character in this movie, and he didn't like the political undertones of this film, so he like refused to do it. Interesting.
Yeah, they can't all be Full Metal Jacket Matthew Modine. Cool. I know you have a lot of other fun trivia facts.
Oh yeah. Okay. So the trivia was chock full of goodies, guys. If you want a good time and you're bored on a Tuesday night, you just hop on over to IMDb and read that trivia. It went on for like days. I had to stop reading it because I was like, oh my God, like I can't even take this many notes. Okay. So before the shoot, they let everyone go up into the F, whatever these are, F-14s, and fly like a couple times. So everybody except Anthony Edwards barfed when they were flying up there, which, you know, I probably would too. You would as well, I'm sure. Doing all those like stunts and shit. So then, so go Anthony Edwards, but then his character dies, which are like, that's super ironic.
Did he have any tricks? Like, what is the...
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. So then, like, Tom Cruise, like, initially was hesitant to do this film. So, like, the director, who did I say it was? Tony Scott. Director Tony Scott was like, well, why don't you get up in an airplane, whatever. So, like, they take him up in the airplane, and like I said, he, like, barfed, and then, but, like, barfed, like, in the airplane, obviously. And then, like, runs off the plane at the end and calls the director, and he's like, I'm doing this, man. I'm so excited. Like, I love this so much. So even though he got sick, he, like, loved the flying so much.
Feels the need for speed.
Which, like, really is, I mean, we just saw the new Mission Impossible where fucking the guy, like, actually got his helicopter license so he could do the helicopter stunts. I mean, that is, like, right in that guy's wheelhouse. So, and that's probably started his love for, like, that crazy shit.
He's crazy. Pretty much.
Along those lines, Tom Cruise had never ridden a motorcycle until this time.
This is where it all began.
Yes, now he's like a motorcycle pro, and again with Mission Impossible, he does all those own. If you've seen that yet, you need to. The stunts are amazing, and he does all the motorcycle stunts, and they're like impossible. So pretty cool. That like this where the love for his motorcycle started. Like I already said, the Navy supposedly fines people $5 for quoting this movie at all. And I just want to do my one other quote that I love from this movie, which is when Mr. Strickland, okay, we did not mention that Mr. Strickland from Back to the Future is in this.
He's basically the same exact character. Oh. And I was waiting for him to be like, you're a slacker. Yeah. You've always been a slacker. Because he was like seconds away from saying
Mr.
that.
Strickland like in every
that's just like
movie.
His ultimate personality.
Like that guy is never going to be a romantic lead, I'll tell you that. So anyway, I love the line. So he's like yelling at them for like the thing in the beginning where they went back and saved the guy, but like they disobeyed orders, right? And then they did some like flyover thing they weren't supposed to do. So he's like, your ego is writing checks your body can't cash. Love that. He does it way better than I do.
Yeah.
Good line. Okay. So basically, people think that this movie was basically just like a recruitment movie for the Navy.
I saw that.
And this is proven in the fact that the Navy actually set up recruiting booths outside the theaters that where this movie played. And because of this, the Navy saw a 500% increase in enrollment.
Yeah, but how many people dropped out after they immediately realized it sucked?
Yeah, it's hell. I don't know. But that's like insane.
They were like, what do you mean I don't get to pick my own call name?
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
I'm out of here. I want to be Maverick. How many people are like, I want to be Maverick? I want to be Maverick. Sorry. Hilarious. What else? And I think I did the other. Oh, Tom Cruise. Yeah, I did. Okay. I think that's all I have for trivia. I know. I know. I had other ones.
You really talked that up.
I know, but like I sprinkled them in throughout too, so that like took away some of mine.
Like seasoning.
I know. Okay, you want to play a game?
Yes.
Okay. So obviously, all right. Sing a song. I need to get my phone.
So before this podcast started, we did a mic test, and I started singing "Highway to the Danger Zone," but then I had second thoughts, and I was like, "Is it I went to the danger zone?" And Sweetie was like, "I'm pretty sure it's I went to the danger zone." And I was like, "It might be Highway to the Danger Zone," and we decided to look it up. You guys, it's Highway to the Danger Zone. I win.
I like I went to the danger zone.
Why is it in the past tense?
Like seems so.
It's happening now. It's happening now.
Seems so much more personal.
No, we're going to the danger zone. That implies it already happened. All right.
Okay. So obviously, this movie is filled with like Air Force terminology,
and they don't explain it.
And I think it's like really interesting. So I think we should play a game where I'm going to read some of the ones from the movie and see if you can identify them. But then I pulled up this list called the Military Aircraft Terminology List. And I'm going to read random ones and see if you can guess. Ready?
Guess what they are?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Can I make up what I think they are?
Sure.
Okay.
So these ones are pretty easy. So these are the ones from the actual movie, right? And we went over some of them, but, spoiler. Bogey.
I don't know.
A radar visual contact of unknown identity. So those, remember the bogeys, like the enemy aircraft.
Okay.
Yeah.
The MiGs?
Oh, that's my next one. MiG.
We already talked about that. Oh, but the Russians. It's the Russians.
Specifically the Russian enemy.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And that
Cha-ching,
the MiG,
cha-ching.
MiG is an acronym, but stands for Mikoyan Gurovich Design Bureau, Russia. So it must be like the kind of plane who designed that plane. No joy.
No joy. I'm sad that I can't catch this plane.
No. Opposite of tally, no visual contact with opposing aircrew. Okay. What's tally? Let's look that one up. Tally or tally-ho. Sighting of a confirmed target.
Tally-ho!
Good one. I always wanted to know what that was. I feel like that's like...
I thought it was pirates, ships. I thought it was ships.
Or is it like...
when you see an island through your little telescope.
Oh, that's tally-ho?
Tally-ho! I don't know. It could be...
I thought that was for when like fox hunting. You're like, tally-ho.
Maybe.
Oh, when you see the fox.
Yeah.
Tally-ho. Oh, cool.
See them all.
Okay. And then I had hard deck, but I couldn't find that in the... So I don't know what that meant, but they used that in reference. Okay, so now I'm just going to spin the wheel of military aircraft terminology and see what you get. Ready? Or maybe pick a letter.
T.
Okay. Tumbleweed.
A weed in the desert that rolls by. So this would mean the plane's like tumbling in the air and it's like stuck and you have to eject and then you get killed by the lid.
Kind of close, but not. A request for information.
Was that kind of close?
Because you're like tumbling, you're like, I don't know where I am. I need information. Like tumbleweed.
Okay.
All right.
D.
All right.
Dogfight?
No. Dolly.
When you're just like...
This is a noun.
Coasting. Oh. Noun. It is a fighter jet that you take with you to make you feel safe.
Data link equipment. Some kind of equipment.
I'm striking out, guys. I'm striking out.
Yeah, you're not great at
points
this.
for creativity, though. I mean, I'm going for the deeper symbolic meaning here, and they're just being literal. So,
okay, bandit. What bandits?
A bad guy.
Identified enemy aircraft.
Yes!
Oh my God! 1 point.
Ding,
That's
ding,
amazing.
ding, ding.
Okay,
all right. I want to do some. Okay. Let's see what you got. Let's see what you got. Hot shot.
Switch it to the guns.
Take your letter.
Oh, F.
You can't do ones you already looked at. All right, did you do one you already looked at?
Remember?
All right.
My memory is like a sieve.
All right. Fence out.
You put on your defensive flaps.
Leaving enemy territory. Ooh. Opposite of fence in. For future reference. Next.
P.
Okay. Here's a good one. Pipper.
Our niece.
Nope. Small dot in the center of the target reticle represents the line of sight.
Huh.
Good to know. Good to know.
All right, last one.
Last one.
R. Give me an easy one.
Red flag.
Say that every day. It is a bad sign, like impending doom.
It's more specific. It's Air Force training exercises held over the Nevada desert and staged from Nellis Air Force Base.
Huh.
Oh, Red Baron. Manfred von Richthofen, World War I, German flying ace and patron saint of fighter jocks everywhere.
Oh, Red Baron.
Red Baron Pizza.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Snoopy. Red Baron. Yeah, good times. It was fun.
Wow.
We know nothing.
Yeah, we know nothing. I mean, I don't think we're going to be signing up for Top Gun school anytime soon.
You don't have 20/20 vision, so forget it.
I'm kind of bummed about that.
I feel like there's such a small population of people that like, what if you get, but can you get like corrective, like LASIKs?
Let me see. Maybe I'm making this up. Let's like Google this, make sure it's fact.
I mean, you can't be colorblind. I know that.
Why would that matter?
I don't know, but in Little Miss Sunshine, remember the kid's like all upset because he finds out
For
he's
the
colorblind?
military?
No, for the Air
Do you
Force.
need 20/20 vision to be a pilot? Oh. Oh, okay. No, I'm wrong. No. So that's commercial flying. You can have corrective lenses if you're a commercial pilot, but that's much less restrictive than military pilot vision requirements. So, okay. So, military pilot. To become a pilot, that means a king's vision can be no worse than 20/70 in each eye, correctable with glasses to 20/20. Well, what does that mean?
Once again, no information. It's redacted. It's all redacted.
That doesn't make sense. But I guess they used to have, effective May 21st, applicants who have had PRX and LASIK eye surgery are no longer automatically disqualified.
All right.
So that's kind of weird.
No, it's not. That like makes your vision 20/20 better than 20/20, isn't it? Once you get that.
If your uncorrected vision is no worse than 27. Okay, so it's like under a certain threshold, 20/70. So okay. I don't even know what that means.
All right. Wow, fascinating. Anything else we need to discuss?
No. I'm excited we watched this movie. I'm really pumped about it.
Check it off my bucket list.
Do you feel good about it? Do you feel like you can like join the normal kids now?
No, because I feel like I'm just going to complain about it the whole time and everyone's going to hate me.
Yeah.
Don't at me. Don't at me. I just am confused. I need facts. I need someone to write an article entitled "Let Me Explain Top Gun to You," and then everything will be fine.
Maybe the sequel will just like spell it all out for you. All the information you were missing is just going to be like, in that sequel.
I hope so. And it all take place in like one scene.
Is it called Top Gun 2?
It is. Maverick. Maverick.
Oh, it's coming out next year. Oh, and Tom Cruise is in it. Duh.
Duh.
Jennifer Connelly?
What?
Cool. Val Kilmer, Iceman. Yeah, Val Kilmer looked cute in this. Jay Ellis. Oh, yeah, the guy from Insecure. Interesting. Oh, good. Hopefully there'll be more than one black person in this, and more women. Okay, I don't know the rest of these people. Who's the love interest? She looks like 12. Oh.
Isn't Jennifer Connelly?
Well, no. I'm sure that's like Maverick. Ew, gross. They're going to have to make out?
Who?
Jennifer Connelly and Tom Cruise?
Oh. Whatever. She could do worse.
Anyways. Good times, guys. Hope you enjoyed that.
Yeah. Let us know your thoughts.
Yeah.
Come and find us. Don't at me, though, about how I'm wrong about everything, because you suck. No, just kidding.
Yeah, you're going to let out hate.
I'm just telling it like it is. I'm being honest here.
That's what happens when you watch a
we
movie
all had, you got blinders on.
Later.
Exactly. And the writing was super cheesy. I'm sorry, but that line where she was like, and I couldn't tell everybody that I'm falling for you. It was just like hilarious. Just like really bad. It was like cocktail level of like bad cheesiness.
This is the 80s. This is why it was so great.
Yeah, I suppose. Anyways, find us on Twitter at The Sweetie Club or on Instagram at Large Marge Sent Us.
That love and feeling, now it's gone.
Yeah, I never had it. I just wanted to go to bed, and this movie kept me up. Let's just say we've had a hate relationship since the beginning, so that's what happened. No, just kidding. It's good. It's a good movie. Okay. So that's it. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.